Hi, I'm Maddie.
And I'm Sarah, and our video game of choice was Breath of the Wild, specifically speedrunning.
Breath of the Wild is a single-player action-adventure game played solely on the Nintendo Switch. It was developed and published by Nintendo and headed by Eiji Anomura. Since it is a single-player action game, the only other players in the game are NPCs or non-player characters. The main character is named Link, and it is very clear that we make the distinction between Link and Zelda.
The primary goal of the game is to defeat Ganon, who has taken over Hyrule and needs to be taken down. There are many things you can do to make this final battle easier. However, it is possible to fully beat the game using only the stick you were provided in the tutorial. With Breath of the Wild being an open-world game, there are many different decisions and actions you can make that affect your gameplay and the difficulty of your playthrough.
Most people that play the game for leisure will play all the side quests that give Link more stamina bars and 20 hearts instead of 3, which can make the final battle against Ganon easier. With Breath of the Wild being an open world game, there are many different decisions that can be made. Many things can be skipped to shorten gameplay times, but the more you skip, the harder the final battle will be. Players can hone their skills and Link's by mastering combat mechanics and completing all runes to unlock things like remote bombs, magnesis, cryonis, and stasis, which can be very helpful when it comes to fighting any enemies. Cooking stamina or health increasing foods, finding the proper clothing for the task, whether that be extra protection or warmth and cooling properties, unlocking all additional hearts as an extra HP buffer, and understanding enemies' fight styles. Many enemies will change color or look away, indicating they are at their weakest, and then that is a good time to strike.
Nintendo's Legend of Zelda saga started way back in 1986 with, surprise surprise, The Legend of Zelda, and it was played on the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System. Since then, the saga has been released on SNES, Game Boy, Nintendo 64, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advanced, GameCube, Wii, Nintendo DS, Nintendo 3DS, Wii U, and the Nintendo Switch. There have since been 37 games released in the saga, with The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom being the most recent. The saga follows Link's life. It follows through Link's childhood, adulthood, fallen hero timeline, and through the end of the Zelda timeline.
With over 31 million copies sold, Breath of the Wild has a very large fan base, but the majority of these players are not playing the speedrun. Speedrun.com only has 1,329 players actively locking their times. Since there is not a super large fan base when it comes to speedrunning, there aren't any major tournaments. Players will typically stream or record themselves speedrunning and then upload their time to the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Speedrun.com page. The fastest time ever was logged by Player 5 at 23 minutes and 23 seconds.